What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a great, what's today? Thursday? Hope you're having a great Thursday. I'm really excited. We had a big week last week. I'm going to drop a bunch of links into the chat as well too. We'll make sure they get onto LinkedIn as well. We've got some polls today. Should be a really fun session, right? That's my hope, at least. My hope is that you're going to have a lot of fun with this. My hope is that you're going to have a lot of takeaways. I think, as you know, if you join our webinars, you know I like to get very tactical. And so for a lot of you out there, if you're watching on LinkedIn or if you're on the Zoom, my advice to you is to be very selfish. Ask questions around your business or how you think this will apply. What I want to do first is, if you don't mind, if you're on the Zoom or if you're on LinkedIn, just give me a quick role and company. So, hey, I'm at whatever company. I'm a sales development rep. I'm a manager. I'm a VP. I'm a CEO. Just what your name, I don't need your name. I can see your name. Just your role and your company, so that I can get a sense for what types of folks that we have here. We've got an AE. What's up? Another AE. Love that. Hannah. GM. Founder. Curious Orbit. What's up, Brett? Hope you're doing good, man. All right, we got some more folks. Co-founder at Brainstork. What's up, E-Ray? All right, cool. So just keep those coming. So a lot of, looks like, hey, what's going on, Frank? Frank, I think we're meeting on Monday. So Frank, I'll see you on Monday as a part of this. So I'm going to jump in here. So I've got a ton of ground to cover. Our amazing marketing team has done a tremendous job. Shout out to Ms. Becca Edelman, who most of you don't know her, but she does so much of the magic behind the scenes to make sure that, we have all this amazing content for you. So Becca, shout out to you. This is a really good one. So if you don't know me, well, chances are if you're on LinkedIn and you don't know me, you're probably, I don't know what you're doing. You found me somehow. I popped up in your live feed. For those of you who don't know Skaled, we are a leading global sales consulting company. We have offices in all over the US, well, individuals all over the US, not really offices anymore, and folks in Europe, Canada, et cetera. So we do a ton. Last year, best guesstimate, I think we did like 160 outbound overhauls. So just to put that in perspective for everyone, that means last year alone, we saw a minimum of 160 different ways that people are doing outbound. That's a lot, right? So we get a chance to see every mutation that you can ever imagine. And so I'm going to share some of our learnings, some of our findings. We've also been doing a lot more data around some of this as well too. So I'm excited to share that with you. So again, I'll be monitoring the chat. So if you do have questions, let me know. You can drop it in the Q&A or you can drop it in the chat. We're going to be doing some polls too. So if you're on LinkedIn, from a poll standpoint, just go ahead and drop your answer in there. We're going to make it simple for you. All right. So here we go. So step one, the modern outbound tech stack. Okay. This is badass. Okay. We literally just developed this like a month ago. And this will allow you, if you're like, hey, I want to, let me do this, copy link. Let's see. I don't know if Becca's in there. We will drop this there. Becca, I'm hoping you can drop it for me in chat as well. So everyone, I'm dropping it here. Maybe I wasn't supposed to drop it like that. That's like a bunch of like UTM tags and stuff. Either way, just click that thing. It's pretty badass. So if you want to go check it out, you want to get a sense for how your sales tech stack basically stacks up. Tech stack stacks up. Go to that link. We'll drop the same link in LinkedIn as well too. So, all right, I'm going to get into this. If you follow me on LinkedIn, you probably have seen this stat because I've said it like 5,000 times now because it's so crazy. And you know what, Becca, actually, we're probably due for a refresh. So maybe I'll run that poll again. We did a survey, 832. And by the way, it's interesting, Gartner and some of these others, I don't know if you all know, how Gartner, all they do is survey people. So if you are trying to collect really, really good data and insights, LinkedIn, Gartner, it sounds good. Like you want to be in the magic quadrant, but again, and I'll show you because we can break down who the respondents are. So, we know the types of people that are responding. 82% of teams out of 832 individuals said they weren't hitting their outbound targets. Yikes. Right? And that's a mix, right? Obviously, October 2021, we were, I don't know, COVID's just like this now, right? So it's like I think we were in a valley at the time. But it's a mix of targets being ridiculous. It's a mix of techniques being terrible. I think for this year, hybrid's going to be the strategy, whether it's hybrid events, in-person selling versus face-to-face. This to me is one of the biggest ones that I think we're going to see a coming back to creativity, meaning before we got all these sales engagement platforms, what we ended up doing is we ended up basically having to do more manual emails. Then we got these tools that allowed us to sequence people. Then we started hitting send all, and it kind of worked in the beginning, and now it's not. And now the circle begins. So I'm telling you right now, what's really good at hitting send all? Bots. So if you want to future-proof your employment, if you want to future-proof like your future as a seller, right? You've got to do things that bots can't do, right? Another big trend is, and again, I guess it kind of plays together, is quality over quantity. Meaning people do not feel motivated and are not excited by hitting send all. They want to be more creative. They're the people that are interacting with customers every day, not someone like locked behind a computer screen. So these are just like the trends I want all of you to think about, when you're kind of building or scaling your team. Really excited for these things. So this is pretty cool. So again, this idea of hybrid, right? So one, guess what? Your buyers prefer virtual sales now. I think this stat, Becca, you can correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe it was a Gartner stat. Like, I think it was like in May of 2020, this number was like 17%. It's something bonkers like that, where it was like, nobody preferred virtual selling. And then it's like, we got a taste of it. And we're like, wait, you can close 7 or 8 figure deals 100% virtual. It's like, yeah, you can, right? So again, 50% said remote work made it easier to buy, right? It still means half said it wasn't, which I think is interesting. And again, and more people that again are doing events hybrid are seeing return on investment there. And I want to give you a really quick study. Shout out to the folks over at Corporate Visions. Corporate Visions, if you go to their website and you click on one of their latest pieces of content, or I actually think they might have a webinar on this next week, is they like literally put like helmets on people and like monitor brain waves to judge sales interactions. And they did a phone only, a hybrid where a person was there and a person was on the screen, all face-to-face and virtual. And the least effective from an attention standpoint was actually hybrid, which I thought was wild. It's like, because there's like a person on a screen and a person here in front of you. So again, when you think about hybrid, it's not actually a hybrid selling, like meaning having people face-to-face or virtual actually is not necessarily a good thing, but just a shout out there. Okay. So again, why aren't teams hitting their numbers? So when we think about trends in 2022, we think about why aren't people getting there? Check this out. 50% said generic messaging. 50%. So again, I don't know how many of this resonates. Go ahead. You can do you can do a quick poll on, if that resonates or not. But, to me, this was shocking. It's like, and I don't think, do I have the in how many people we surveyed? I want to say this is like 1,000 something people responded to, maybe like 1,500. If we know the problem is generic messaging, why aren't we doing something about it? This right here is something that we have so much control over. It's wild, right? And I think it has to do with this next one, which is 26% say it's an over focus on quantity. So it's like this vicious cycle that we've created of so focused on quantity that we have to send out generic messaging that we know is the problem for outbound not working. So I want all of you to think about this, right? So again, how do we do it? How do teams fix this? You got to track quality over quantity. Yes, it's okay for you to have some, baseline metrics. Fine, whatever you want to do. Great, love it. Okay. But again, if we don't do a better job of allowing people to do things less repeatable, right? They're still very repeatable. They're just not as automated as you would like them to be. We're going to continue to see poor results. Brian, I wonder, I think it's like everybody has two names here, which I'm really confused as. Is this relevant to all verticals? Oh my goodness. It's like, you know what's coming here. So I've got some stats coming up here about size, and we can talk about that. And the answer was yes. This number, not only was it relevant across verticals, this data was relevant based on job title. Meaning when you sliced it, there were some slight variations on job title when you sliced it by like what a VP thought versus what a manager thought. But the answer is yes, it was the same. There was no like statistical correlation or difference between the two. But yes, I think we've got those stats in here. I think, if not, I'll get you those stats because I know we have them. So again, I think that this is just a good call out here. Again, this idea of tracking quality. And again, number 2 is better data and insights. Well, why do we want better data and insights? So we can continue to make the process better. So people are saying like, look, I don't even know what's working. I don't know what's working. I don't know what's not working. So again, if we can move toward a world where we're balancing quantity and quality, and we're then creating a data feedback loop, you're going to be successful. And in 2022, this is what it's going to require. It's going to require you to do these things. All right. So here we go. Poll number 1. Polls. All right. I'm launching the poll here. How often, and so this is for all my LinkedIn friends out there, how often did you update your outbound sequences in 2021? All right. I love this. Becca, this is a great idea. I love doing polls. Let's do polls like all the time now. All right. All right. The answers are rolling in here. We'll keep the poll open for a little bit. It's kind of like a poll here is kind of like, it's like popcorn. It's like once you see it stop, then you're like, all right, that's when I need to stop it. Why do the microwave settings for popcorn never work, by the way? I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to end poll. All right, share the results. Here are the results. So if all of you should be able to see it. Becca could go copy and paste this for all my LinkedIn folks. 21% said constantly. 29% said every month. 29% said every quarter. 4% said 6 months. And 17% said update, ? Which is interesting. So that means, I just want to put this in perspective for you. This means 79% of people are updating their sequences monthly or worse, right? And we get all this data, we get all this insights, but we're not doing a good enough job of, necessarily doing that. So, all right, that's poll number 1. Love it. That was fun. Only 57% of you participated, by the way. This next poll, I expect a lot more. All right, so how are we going to stay ahead of the game? All right, I'm going to talk about our friends' technology. And so for a lot of you, my guess is a lot of you, you've engaged, you use a sales engagement platform. Go ahead and you can drop in the chat or in the comments, like what's your sales engagement platform of choice? I'm always curious if there's, so drop in the chat on Zoom or in the comments, Outreach, SalesLoft, drop in the comments here. Let's see who's going to move ahead here. It's so weird. Everyone's name is literally doubled in this. I've never seen this before. All right, I'm going to break down the tech stack. All right, so here is what the modern tech stack looks like. Okay. I just want to put this in perspective for everyone. Apollo. All right, there's an Apollo shout out. Wow. Yes, Brian. I love that all of your names are doubled. That's great. So there are over 2,000, close to 2,000 sales technologies that exist. Okay. And what's happening is that, look, we see our clients, some of these people are investing $1,000 per month per rep on just sales tech. The problem is It's like we gave like a power drill to cavemen, and now we're just building better huts as opposed to building a house. That with all of these tools, we have sales operations teams that do not know how to put these tools together, and it's not their fault. They've only implemented them once or twice, right? Two, these tools are evolving so quickly, right? I mentioned before, we did, let's see, we've got a mix here. Got some Outreach, some SalesLoft, and Apollo in there. Only a few of you put your favorite sales engagement platform in there. I'm sure the sales reps for those teams are very upset at you right now for not giving them a shout out. So again, I want you all to think about what tools are going to solve the bottlenecks, right? There's certain tools. My favorite category to pick on a little bit right now is conversational intelligence. Okay. Look, there's a ton of value in conversational intelligence. The problem is most people are just using conversational intelligence like call recording, which has been around for a long time. But there is a lot of data. There's a lot of really cool things you can do with conversational intelligence if you do get your act together. So how should you think about your tech stack? Okay. I'm going to kind of break down. This is what I advise companies on. They pay tens and tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'm going to give it to you now. Step one, so we have to have an accurate source of data. Clean data, right? It's like putting the right fuel into your engine. Okay. You put the wrong fuel, the car is never going to go like it should, right? So you have to have a clean way to get data in, right? Whether that's, Zoom Info, Sales Intel. It's one of our partners, Lucia, Lead IQ. There's a million, right? There's a million of these out there. Okay. And then, okay, before I move on, I'm going to take this question. I feel like I've tried multiple databases, but are constantly switching. And here, I'm going to answer this live so you can see it. Basically, the question is around, I've tried a bunch of database. We've switched back and forth. Would you suggest using multiple databases? As long as it's easy to integrate into your sales team's workflow, then sure. Yeah. I mean, sometimes the other alternative, and I think for some of you, I want just to think about, is creating a mechanical Turk. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there's a team I'm thinking of very specifically. There's a woman in New York who built this amazing machine because she had this problem where she had just had a team of 5 people that were relatively full-time that were just farming information off of and scraping websites because they couldn't find a good database. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, but you do need, quality contact info. Next, organize and track your sequences, right? You need a process. Many of you already know this. I saw some shout outs for Outreach and SalesLoft and Apollo in there. To organize your sequences, right? You have to have that, right? So I've got clean data in, a way to, how I think of this, I've got clean data, and then I've got a way to act on that data, right? Then I've got a CRM that helps me to compile and track and optimize that. And then again, there's a data layer and some other things you could add in. But that's it. You have to have clean data. You have to have a clean way to act on that. And then I need to know what happened when I took action. So that's how I want all of you to think about it. These are some of our partners here, right? Outreach, we're Outreach's largest implementation partner. If you use Outreach, or if you use SalesLoft, right? But if you use Outreach particularly, we've done more Outreach and SalesLoft deployments and overhauls than any company in the world. We've done probably four plus, maybe 300 to 400, I guess, at this point. So if you do need help there, if you're like, Jake, how do we optimize? We got you. Vidyard. I am telling you, Vidyard and Syndos. So I'm just going to call these two out. Shout out to like the team at Postal as well too, which is another kind of gifting platform. Friend of mine's the CEO there. These will help you cut through the noise. I'm telling you, like, we are seeing it. Video works. And so so does sending something thoughtful, right? Not the gift card, not the $25 gift card for Starbucks. No CEO's got time for that crap. Stop offering up $25 gift cards. Okay. And again, Sales Intel is a new one that we started partnering with. Insight Squared, now part of MediaFly. So this is kind of these are our partners, that we implement quite a bit. But look, there's other people that are great too. So for those of you who don't know, this is a big part of our business. If you all do need help with stringing this together, you're at the right place. So quick pitch for Skaled. Angela, yes, Postal, 1000%. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. is also another alternative to Sendoso is postal.io. So I would highly recommend checking that out. I know there's another one, Reach Desk. I think a friend of mine, she works there now. Okay, so pro tip. This is the question I get probably, I don't know, more than any, is what is the right mix of personalization? Ironically, I did a poll on this morning. So let me see what my results look like there on the poll. So I did a poll on this to see how much time people spend on the on actually their emails. And so let me tell you what the results were. All right, come on. The results. Almost 500 people voted, and the results are for, actually, let me see if you can kind of copy this? Let me see. Not really. 39% said they spend 2 to 5 minutes. 21% said 6 to 10 minutes. 26% of people said that they will spend over 10 minutes customizing an email. Wow. All right. So that's 86% of people said they spend over 2 minutes to customize an email. So that's pretty cool. The bulk of people, 40%, were 2 to 5 minutes. That 2 to 10 minutes is what kind of sounds like the sweet spot to me. Oops. So this is the other issue that we see all the time. We're going to go ABM, or we're not going to use ABM. Stupid. Okay. There is no one size fits all based on the tier of the prospect. So again, most of our clients, so again, if you want to know how the theme that you should take away from today is that this shit is not easy. How about this? It actually is easy once you get it set up. And again, like that's, we've built a whole business around this, but the plays that used to work, email, call, email, call, email, are not working anymore. So again, we've got to be smarter how we segment our accounts, the plays that we run, right? So for us, most of our clients are running at least 2 tiers, if not 3-tier approach, right? Tier 1, these are my top 10 to 15%, highly personalized. Those are the ones I'm spending 10 minutes on, okay? Tier 2, mix, some personalization up front, a little bit in the middle. That's it. For my tier 2s, hear me loud and clear right now. Everybody, listen, pay attention, okay? Don't just customize the first email. It's so funny. We'll talk to people. Yeah, we do personalization. And it's just the first email. It's like, ugh. Like, how many people respond to that first email? Not a lot. Huh. Man, that sounds like a lot of time wasted if you're not going to do it later. So again, I just want to call this out here. Templates are fine. I've got no problem with templates. Make sure to use some real data here. All right. Send up for sales off or gone. All right, I've got a question in here. I'll take this here in a second. Someone asked a question around recommended tech over SalesLoft. Email is going to it just depends. Candidly, whether it's SalesLoft or Gmail or Outreach or any of these, the issue might not be, the question just for everybody here is there any other tech recommendations over SalesLoft? and I'm not going to kind of pick on SalesLoft because the chances are it could actually be related to your domain, meaning how this all works is regardless of the tool. Now, certain tools may be flagged by that company. That's a different story. But a lot of people, what they don't realize is as you start to send out more of these crappy, not straight templated emails, Google and Microsoft, okay, start to aggregate the crappiness and spamminess of what you've done and start to flag you. And so it could be your domain issue. So you might want to consider a third party like SendGrid. And there's a few others that will like mask the domain or create an alternate domain for you. But I don't know. So DM me, Jessica, and I can get more specific. But a lot of times it's not the tool's fault that you're getting blocked. It's the amount of volume of emails that you're putting out that are getting sent to spam. So just something to think about. All right, personalization, boom. All right, poll number 2. Again, this is a great idea. Okay, let's see here. Where's my next poll? All right, poll number 2 is this. How confident are you in your outbound tech stack to help you reach your goals. So I talked about this tech. I talked about it all feeding together. So next poll is, how confident are you that your tech stack is actually set up to get you to where you need to be? All right, let's go. The numbers of popcorn's popping. Keep them coming. All right, the numbers are coming in. We've got, all right, there we go. I love it. Yes, I will take a plate. That sounds wonderful. I'll come downstairs. All right, so in poll here, my wife came in and asked me if I wanted lunch, which was fantastic. Okay, so here we go. How many of you think your tech stack is set up to help you win? 35% said 25% or less. 13 said 50. 43. Our big answer was 75. Yep. It's a work in progress, right? So only 9% of people said my tech stack is perfect and set up, right? Of course, there's always room for optimization, but I think that this is very telling, right? I showed you the landscape. I talked about these tools. They're evolving quickly. Trust me, it's difficult for me. I'm going to put this in perspective. Look, I'm a CEO of a 40+ person company. And, I still am very heavily involved in the day-to-day. I wish I could figure out some of my friends like mailbox money and how that works. But I take on average at least probably 2+ tech stack demos a week, because this stuff is evolving so rapidly. So, okay, good. So a lot of you, I mean, again, to me, anything above 50% is great, right? If you're using 50% of your tools, like at a certain capacity, I think that's fantastic. So that was another great poll there. All right, the plays. Okay, so we'll drop it here. Becca, have we dropped the Modern Outbound Playbook yet? Have we dropped the link for that? If we have not dropped the link for that, I'm going to drop it. So every 6 months, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, we put out a Modern Outbound Playbook. Okay, why are we doing this every 6 months? Here, I just clicked on it just so all of you know. So yeah, it's the link that I put in the chat there. So you can, there you go. It's the link I put in the chat. So if you don't have it, I'll drop it again. If you joined late, let me drop it again. Oh, all right, never mind. Becca already, she's on top of it. Okay, so let me go back to it. Slideshow. All right, and I had a question. Brian asked, how important is a RevOps person when thinking about the tech stack and how reps are using it? My thought, shout out to RevOps. Please don't take this the wrong way. They don't know. RevOps can sit there and be like, well, I'd like to blibbity blah. RevOps has no clue what these tools can actually do, right? So let me play this out for you. RevOps doesn't know that Outreach, for example, just built new ways to develop automation rules that I can now build out automation and rules off of shadow fields in Salesforce to automatically, after a marketing automation interaction, skip ahead, put people in this sequence. RevOps does not know any of this. And it's why, I mean, obviously for us, why we created a whole business unit around this. So to me, Brian, what RevOps can do is say, here's a customer experience, but this goes back to, this is actually an epidemic in sales right now. Sales leaders have outsourced their knowledge of operations and technology to operations people. And so sales leaders now are continuing to build sales teams the way we built sales team 8 years ago. And the reality is we could be doing so much of the behind the scenes automation, but we don't even know it's possible. So that's what's up, man. RevOps can help, but if you don't know what to do behind the scenes, if you don't know what the art of there's things that you can do that are bonkers. You're like, hey, can we automate when someone does this? Yes, you can. Troops, for example, another partner of ours. I should have given a shout out to Troops on there. But hey, I want to have every time someone opens an email 5 times, I want them to get notified in Slack. Done. That's all doable now. And so, I don't think these operations roles are the answer. I think, you got to stay up on top of things, but, you can do the best you can. All right. So I promised plays. Here are plays. Okay. So what we like to do here is, again, a mix of different things. Okay. Check out this first play. just so you know, when we talk about plays that involve LinkedIn, I want to be very clear here. If somebody's not on LinkedIn, you just hit next. It's no problem. What a lot of these plays is we've developed these, it's about if they're on LinkedIn, let's interact with a little piece of their content. Let's leave a comment. Let's drop a like on a post that didn't get very many likes, right? Let's, again, as we kind of do these things here, let's use video. How many of you even know that on the LinkedIn app, it's only available on your phone, on the LinkedIn app? If you're a first degree connection, they accept a connection request from you, okay? You can send them a voicemail. You go to messages, there's a little microphone. You just drop them a voicemail, right? So again, I can literally build every single step in here in outreach or in a sales engagement. This is easy. Again, the problem is we're just so programmed that this stuff sounds difficult when the reality is it's not. If they're not on LinkedIn, who cares? Skip ahead, right? So again, this is so critical here. It's and yeah, exactly. The other thing you can do, Brian called it out here, is if you're on LinkedIn, their first degree connection, there's a little paper clip. There's a paper clip on one side. There's a microphone on the other. You click the paper clip, you can send a personalized video, right? Also, if you have Vidyard on your computer, you can do that from your computer too. But so again, just this is these are and plays. Just understand that. Okay, next is no show. It's pretty funny. Most companies are averaging like 20 to 40% no shows. It's like roughly like that. Again, some are a little bit better than that. And then what happens is, we find that there's this like 5 to 10% throughout a year. I mean, sometimes it's even more. And now we get those people back, right? It's not that they, but that's 5 to 10% of people that agreed to meet that probably you never meet within a year. So again, there's some plays here around, again, why don't you get people excited to meet with you? That's a novel idea. I want people to get excited to meet with me, as opposed to you show up, you've done half-ass prepped, and you're like, great, I want to know more about your business. Like, why not? Like, I'm telling you guys, it is so easy right now to stand out in sales. It is so easy, right? All you have to do is be this much personalized, this much, and be this much differentiated, right? Most people are showing up unprepared. They're not making sure these things happen. Again, this play in particular, again, imagine sending a video, right? You send a video to the people, right? You could also send a video after. You could send a video after. Why not? Hey, let me recap that to you, right? Somebody here has a question about videos. They said, any special setup? So what I have set up here, I'll just tell you all, is I have a DSLR camera. It's a Canon EOS, Rebel EOS. I've got this is a Rode mic. So the camera and lens is probably like, you can get these things now, and you don't need this, by the way. Your iPhone is baller. Like, the iPhone camera is silly. But you can do that. I also have right here a light. This light you can get for $15 off of Amazon. I just go flip it on before a video. So more and more of you, here's what I want you to think about. I was literally just talking to a group of people about this right before I jumped on. You have to up your video quality game. If you're sitting there and we've been in the pandemic for almost 2 years, okay? Oh, my camera's off. Uh-oh. Wait, how did my camera go off? Let me see here. What's this? Oh, wait. Becca says she can see me. All right. Brian, I had a heart attack. I'm like, what? I would be very ironic if my camera went off when I was talking about cameras. That would be good. Okay. All right. Other people can see me. Brian, I'm sorry you can't, but don't worry about it. So anyway, how I put it like this is digitally, how do you show up on your meetings and for your videos? It's the same way. Do you show up with a good camera, a good background? And this does not take that long to set up, right? I'm not a videographer, okay? Would you ever show up to an in-person meeting in a wrinkled suit? Okay, then why are you keep showing up on Zoom with a camera angle where I can see up your nose, it's grainy, and your bed's in the background or some other stupid background? So everybody on this needs to really think about how they're showing up digitally. That's a whole other side note. So that's what I would say. Set up for a minimum would be, I would invest in a tripod, an iPhone. And again, you can cook this in. I use a tool called Ecamm Live to hook in. And when I shoot my videos or I'm doing a one-to-one videos, I just hook this thing up, right? And then I use my webcam for 99% out of the things. So that's what's up. All right. Brett says video's good. Brian, I'm sorry. Yes, you will receive a copy of this webinar. So here's some more plays for you. Meeting follow-up. This one's easy. This is going to get you, again, you spend all this time booking meetings, get another 5-10% of your meetings in there. Okay. Love the video the day before. Love the video the day after. It's one of my favorites. All right. Split play. Again, this goes back to it. If I thought just email would work, my friends, I would just tell you to do that. Like, I don't want to make this more complicated. I really wish it wasn't more complicated. I wish I could say, what works is like one cold call or 3 emails in a row that are non-customized. Like, I don't want to make things, difficult or not. But this is what this stuff requires today, my friends. So again, this is a split play where basically what we can do, and again, all of this is possible. If you're looking at this right now and you're like, well, how do you do wait, you can do a split play in outreach, or you can do, yep, you can. And this goes back to, again, when I talked about people, not using their tech stack, this is a big part of it, right? So again, someone interacts, maybe do, again, triple tap here. By the way, this works. Email, value-based email, phone call, and a connect, right? There's actually Outreach has done a bunch of data around this triple tap, right? And then again, what happens if somebody actually engages, we put them in this nurture until and if they're unengaged, we put them in a different nurture. Yep. Scott, list of tools would be appreciated. Tell me which tools. Maybe you're talking about camera tools. If you're talking about camera tools, I can help you with that too. So that's what's up. Again, engaged versus unengaged. Shouldn't you be treating people that engage with you differently than people that don't? Yes, you should. That makes logical sense. So why aren't you doing it? Okay. All right. Please try to avoid links. It's going to put you in spam. That could be another reason. Somebody before asked a question about, why their emails are going to spam. You could just have a bunch of links or images, because marketing said, we need to all have this image in our whatever it is. Like, no, you don't. It actually is not good for deliverability, etc. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about a little bit about hybrid. How do you send a video without a link? You can't. So your answer is you can embed a thumbnail. So Hannah just asked, how can you send it? You can embed a thumbnail, but it still technically is an HTML link. So you can't, except caveat, if they are a first degree connection on LinkedIn, you can send it straight from your phone. So if you go again to your LinkedIn app, hit the paperclip on the message. So you can't do it email, you can do it via LinkedIn. All right, poll number 3. Does your marketing team currently run or have plans to run webinars? Right. This one, I'm hoping this one will be a very quick one. Launch. So how is your team investing in webinars in 2021? I said it's 2021. It's 2022. We're halfway through January already. It's insane. Wow. These numbers are shocking. I thought this was going to be like very not what it was. Wow. Okay. All right. My 24 people have answered here. And the results I'm kind of dumbfounded if I'm being candid here. Only 50% of people said that their team is doing webinars in 2022. And I kind of, I group in anything, a LinkedIn Live, things like what we're doing now. Look, I hope it's because you're investing in in-person events, right? But literally 50% said yes. 38 said no, and 13 said I'm not sure. And again, like this is the sad part too, right? Like think about outbound. 13% of people said, I don't even know what my marketing team is going to do it. It's not your fault, right? It's just bad communication. 38% said no. What you think we're all going back face to face? Like Canada just went back into lockdown basically, right? Australia's been in lockdown. Like all my Aussie friends out there, I feel for you. So how else are you going to like host digital events, etc.? So anyway, I'm pretty shocked by this. I have to be honest. Okay. All right. So webinar play, boom. Why don't you start to make some of your call to action, send them to a webinar? Yes, Twitch counts, Brett. I'll count Twitch for sure. Anything live to me or anything that people can interact with you counts to me. So webinar, whatever. Brett, if you're streaming on Twitch, playing Fortnite, I'll count that too. So anyway, guys, I just want to, I'm going to call this out real quick. For all my marketers who are listening, I want you to just please pay attention right here. All my salespeople, you can give me a thumbs up if you can get down with this. Somebody who attends, I'm going to say this real quick. Somebody who attends a webinar is not a warm lead. They're not even a lead. They're maybe possibly somewhat interested in the topic. All of you who are attending this on LinkedIn and here, there's like, I don't even 100 something folks between the two. You are not like, maybe you're a lead for Skaled and for what we do. I don't know, but we've got to move away from this marketing mindset that people that attend a webinar or download anything are a lead. They're not. They're just not. Okay. So, but how do we get them there? How do we get them to intent? So again, here's an amazing play where again, we use our high intent people, the people that start to tick up the ladder. You know what we use? I'll just give a quick shout out here. I don't think I talked about this. We use a tool called Sales Wings. Sales Wings, it's a really lightweight lead scoring system that we have on our website. It goes out in our emails and we found it to be very helpful. So, as opposed to kind of some of the bigger, we call it tools. Scott liked my comment there around qualified lead again. And even in our marketing department, this is a conversation that we have all the time. Like, in terms of how to think about, it's about pipeline generation. It's about deals closed, right? It's not about, how many attendees did we have, although that's helpful, right? So again, quick follow-up play. Go ahead, see if they're engaged. Doesn't mean they're warm, but don't give these leads to your SDRs and be like, hey, here's some hot leads right off the press because they attended a webinar. Okay, this one, I am telling you, everyone, I know we've got a lot of account executives, at least on the Zoom. I'm assuming we have a lot of account executives on LinkedIn as well too. I am going to generate 20% more pipe for you with this play right here. Video to re-engage old leads. This works insane. Okay. I want you this week. Well, this week's almost over. Next week. I want you to go back to all your closed lost opportunities from 2021. Go back to 2020 if you're at the same company. Chances are a lot of you are not at the same company. I want you to send them a personalized video and send them a note on LinkedIn. Hey, I know it's been a minute. Hope you're doing fantastic. I saw this thing. I thought I'd reach out. Hey, I know 2022 kicked off. Let's set up just a quick kind of competitive analysis. I can tell you some things we saw last year and looking forward to the conversation. I'll drop a few times potentially. Look forward to reconnecting here in the new year, James. That's it. This is going to add back free pipeline. It is insane to me how terrible we are. And guess what? Again, I'm just going to call this out. Suggested tools, outreach. Guess what? I can set this play up in outreach. So imagine this here. Okay, I want to play this scenario out for you. And again, this goes back to why whenever someone asks about, is this RevOps? They can't comprehend the shit that I'm talking about, right? And I love you, RevOps. And even super senior, super smart people who went to Harvard and can analyze spreadsheets. They don't even know what the tech's available. So anyway, imagine a world where in August of 2020, I had a deal with Brian, okay? And Brian's like, look, Jake, timing is not going to work. We went with your competition, whatever it is. No problem. I then have a sequence that starts at month 4. Step 1 is connect on LinkedIn today. Step 2 starts in 4 months and does this. And then I start to run the play, right? So much of this, my friends, you can literally automate. Oh, this is a really good one. So again, I hope that helps some people. I'm telling you, just imagine you can set up a sequence that is for close loss that says connect on LinkedIn day 1, follow up on day 120, and then you go into that sequence. And then I can disposition you in whether you engaged or not. All of this is so easy. It's very doable. Someone asked a really great question about sentiment reports actionable from outreach. So outreach, what they do, what we love, is they have reporting around sentiment. Was it a positive reply? What was the objection? Was it a negative reply? Not interested? What was their objection? They've got a lot of insights, again, because they can just read the email. And this is kind of my point, guys. Like, if we're already at the point where like machines can read the email, when someone says not interested, do I really need a person to respond to that? Probably not. So anyway, that's the way we're going. The answer, unfortunately, is no. There is no, now outreach is actively working on its API. And we are kind of working with them and talking to them about pulling some of this, making this data more actionable. But right now, the sentiment data is not super extractable. Sorry, it's just not. So, all right, last, but certainly not least. Okay. All right. Yes, this is so key. When you do send video, make sure to send, when you send me a video or you send anybody a video, put the stuff in there. Not everyone wants to watch the video. Sometimes I'm like, okay, oh, hey, I see they sent a personalized video, right? Now I'm interested. And then, okay, this is what they said. Okay, cool. Like, that's easy. Don't just send a video being like, boom, it's going to work. It's not. You got to make sure you do a good job of also calling that out as well. All right, last and final poll, I promise. Man, that webinar one really, I don't know. That one really like shocked me. All right, what is your number one concern when it comes to outbound this quarter? Let's see if the numbers are going to hold true. What is your number one concern when it comes to outbound this quarter? Is it generic messaging, focus on quantity, not iterating, or old sequence strategy? Let's see what we have. All right. All right. The numbers are shaking up. We're to our 24 again. 24 seems to be like the magic number here. Or maybe that's all the people that can do it. All right, share results. So, it's a pretty evenish. So again, generic messaging, 29%. Too focused on quantity, 33%. Not iterating, 25%. Sequence strategy is old, 13%. That's cool. I mean, the sequence strategy is old. I thought maybe I expected to be a little bit higher, but maybe this wasn't your number one concern. Maybe it was a concern, but wasn't number one. Yeah, this over focus on quantity is really interesting because it's actually, let me tell you what's the most interesting is when you think about this from a data standpoint, that 33% said too focused on quantity, 25% said not iterating fast enough. If you're focused on quantity, you're putting more and more data points through the system, which actually in turn should allow you to iterate faster. So it's like, if we're not iterating fast enough, because we're using generic messaging, it's like, what's the point? Like, either way, you're probably still pumping enough through to iterate faster. But I just think it's funny that you iterating fast enough is, we're trying to do more activity, but then we're not iterating with it. So it's like, what's the point of doing more activity if we're not iterating on it anyway? So my friends, we've come to the end of the show. We've come to the end. Hopefully, as a part of this, for a lot of you here too, if you would like to, I got to grab that link too. Hold on a second. Easy there. We'll do a little Q&A. So if you guys have some questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat for me. If you guys want to set up some time to talk about this, we are more than happy to do it. Happy to sit up, talk to you, your organization, your sales team. Look, I love doing this stuff, right? If you can't tell, talking about where the puck is going, where the ball is moving, I love this stuff. So I really encourage you all, if you've got a sales team, you want us to just talk shop about what's going down, more than happy to do it. So I've got about like 5 minutes for some Q&A. If some people want to drop in maybe some final questions here, I really hope some of these plays were helpful. Scott asked for an example of a quick, short video messaging. And then I'm going to get to yours next. So short video, again, add value immediately. So here's a good example. I'm just going to make some shit up. Okay. Hey, Scott, this is Jake at Skaled. Hey, look, I saw on LinkedIn these two things, insert XYZ. Based on that, what I wanted to do is I put a couple bullets here below. You can just check it out. It seems like you guys might be starting to think about XYZ topic. If that's the case, just shoot me a quick, like, yeah, Jake, this seems like timely. I'm happy to send you over some more detail on it. And then maybe we can set up time in a couple of weeks. Either way, Scott, I really have enjoyed kind of following your journey on LinkedIn and look forward to connecting soon. I think that was like probably 25 seconds, something like that. It's personal. It's confident. That's the other part of the video. I'm confident. I'm not pushy. So that's a key to video for a lot of you. All right. Matthew says, our team's messaging and content is solid. Our biggest challenge is in emails being opened. Can you touch on those solution ideas again? Okay. So if you've got an email open rate problem, that is a problem. I would argue maybe the messaging does need some work, but TBD. Here is tried and true. This one right here. This bad boy. I'm going to give you the go-to subject line. For those of you who've stuck around, still almost everybody, so that's great. Here is the go-to. Guys, use this. Here's the thing. I'm going to type this in here like 90%. Time to connect, date. Like, so you could put 1/31. This bad boy right here. This subject line, time to connect, date. This bad boy will get you 30, 40, 50% open rates every single time. Like we have tested this subject line over the years across industries. Time to connect dash date. This is Old Faithful right here. So use that right there. That one works. What's it? Referred. This is the other bad boy. Referred from XYZ office. And then you could toss in, that's from XYZ office. Okay, this one works on big companies, okay? Okay, here you go. I'm typing this one in. Okay, you don't need to necessarily do the second part. Okay, so like, let's say you sell in a, this one had, I was like almost a 60 or 70% open rate for one of our clients. They sold a legal marketplace technology. And what we would do is we actually, because a lot of times the CFO is involved. So we'd call or email the CFO and we'd say, hey, does John Henderson handle legal and like decisions around counsel? Yes, he does. Fantastic. Thank you. Then we'd say referred from Frank Henderson's office. Connect on this date. Boom, open rate. And we'd say, yeah, we talked to him about who handles XYZ. They said that was your department. Right? I'm not suggesting, don't lie. Do not lie. Actually make the call, make that a step. But if you want to know ones that I know work over and over again, these just play. These are the greatest hits. This is Don't Stop Believing. This is Sweet Home Alabama. These are just these hits just don't stop believing. All right. We're trying to scale our outbound lead gen. We're not sure about outsourcing or hiring, especially concerned about the personal touch. All right. This is a really great one. We also, another thing about 2020, 21, my guess is that we had more clients than ever use outsourced partners. So, and we've finally found a few that we can be successful with. We had a lot of people that sucked, right? No offense to a lot of the outsourced people out there, but a lot of them are just selling snake oil because the market's so hot right now and everyone wants more leads. Facts. So I don't know what the right answer is for you. Here's what I would say. If you're going to work, and so what we've been doing now, we're managing, I don't know if it's millions now, well over $1 million right now in outsourced lead generation managed services. So I've got senior consultants that are basically overseeing the outsourced partner to make sure that the messaging and the emails and the iteration is happening. So if you don't hire us to manage the partner for you, which is fine, then just make sure that if you are going to work with a partner, treat them like a full-time employee for the first 45 to 60 days. You will get a direct correlation between your success based on the investment that you put in upfront. So I've got no problem. I would say it's better to work with a partner when you're like, dude, I'm not going to be able to manage these people like the way that I want to. I'm not going to be able to onboard them. I'm not going to be like, you're just so stretched for time that you can't do it. That's when I think working with a partner can be a good piece, but don't expect to outsource it and for them to magically figure it out. You still need to put in the work. So that's what's up. So, all right, we went a little bit over. Everyone, big thank you. Make sure you can take a look. Make sure book time with us. More than happy. I'm telling you all, more than happy. Get on the phone, talk about your sequences. Our team literally does this like 20 times a week. So shoot me a quick note, book some time with us, and look forward to seeing you all on the next Jake and Friends, which I think will be next Tuesday. So stay tuned next Tuesday. And then I love this Zoom thing where for some reason on the Zoom webinar, it's just duplicated everyone's first name. So Tara, Bruno, Brian, Ire. Appreciate y'all. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. We'll see you later.